with all the leaks going on and everything from the GameFly leak seemingly coming to fruition, including Deion Sanders leaking NFL Blitz, let's talk about what I want to talk about: Marvel vs. Capcom 2. What's up, ladies and gents? Your boy MikeOfAllTrades, and today we're going to be discussing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. What I want to see on it, what I want it to look like, etc., etc. So, first time here, you guys know what to do. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and turn on those notifications because the content's really good. At least I think so. So, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's one of those games that's, a lot of people consider to be the unicorn in the fighting game community. It's a game that you don't see often. It got listed back in the early 2000s, delisted off of PlayStation and Xbox. The only way you can really play it online right now is if you play it on Fightcade or if you have it for those consoles. Thankfully, I was intelligent enough to buy them for both, so if I need to load up a 360 or a PS3, I could do so, right? But the game is, for the most part, unavailable unless you want to spend about $250 for the Dreamcast version or $200 for the PlayStation 2 version. And I forget how much the Xbox version is, right? But with Arcade1Up, they're trying to do something, allegedly, that hasn't been done in forever, and give people online inside of an arcade cabinet. And I'm here for it, Now, what do I want Marvel's Capcom to look like? I want it to look like that. The Big Blue factor has only been used once, and it's literally only been used for the Street Fighter Champion Edition cabinet, right? But for those who don't know, Marvel's Capcom 2 were traditionally inside of Big Blues. You can see Retro Ralph's video on his restoration of a Marvel's Capcom 2. By the way, I wish he would have sold it to me. But, you know what I mean? And that's what you do. Put it inside of a Big Blue cabinet. I'm pretty sure they have a bunch of stock in them, a bunch of stock used and ready to go. And hopefully that's what it comes in. I hope it comes in a Big Blue. I hope it comes with a super big dumb marquee, you know what I mean? And with the slanted panel, because a lot of people, they hate it, they complain about it, but honestly, slanted panels in fighting games was just the way it was back in the day. And it's actually at the right height. It's at 36 inches, And if you didn't know, that's what fighting game panels are like in arcades. They're not all the way up here, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't lean forward and whatever else. No, they're slanted the way they should be. They're ergonomical. So your hands can get to the buttons, etc., right? So I want it to be in the Big Blue. What is the side art? Hell, I don't know. Just put the Marvel's Capcom 2 logo on the side. That's pretty much all you really need to do. Simple, clean, effective. It has that ocean feel. So Marvel's Capcom 2 story has like an ocean feel to it, with Ruby Hart as the main character. She's a pirate, you know what I'm saying? And even the splash screen, if you look at it, you know what I'm saying, it's literally Marvel's Capcom 2, and it's like waves of water. So Big Blue, perfect cabinet for it. Now, that being said, I'd love to see a Big Blue XL cabinet for Marvel's Capcom 2. Or a Pro Series. Killer Instinct Pro isn't out yet, so I say, screw it. Put out a Big Blue Marvel's Capcom 2. I would just like to see it in a bigger form factor. You know what I mean? That's just me. The games list, right? Let's talk about that. The games list is the most important thing on here. And there's 3 ways they could go about it, right? Option 1, they make it just Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Nothing more, nothing less. Arcade1Up's done it before. They did it with Terminator 2, and they added bonus features. Now, I'm not saying there's a bunch of bonus features for Marvel's Capcom 2. Maybe soundtracks. Maybe if you go and get the soundtracks that were redone, you can throw that on there as features. But, I think a lot of people, for as much as people complain about getting single game cabinets, I think Marvel's Capcom 2 is that exception. Marvel's Capcom 1, that Arcade1Up is, in the fighting game scene, probably the pinnacle cabinet. Legitimately. MK30th just came out, Marvel's Capcom and X-Men. I would say X-Men vs. Street Fighter, but X-Men vs. Street Fighter only had 4 games, and that one has 5. So, you know what I'm saying? You get your superheroes, you get your Street Fighter, you get your Marvel's Capcom 1, and you get your X-Men vs. Street Fighter, right? Whereas on X-Men vs. Street Fighter, you get X-Men vs. Street Fighter, X-Men Coda, and you get Marvel's Capcom. So, this one, clearly the superior cabinet. You know what I mean? But I do like the PlayStation X-Men vs. Street Fighter artwork on the X-Men cabinet. the box art, because there was never any official artwork for X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Anyway, if they did one game on the cabinet, they could completely get away with that, and the FGC would go nutty, And you know what? I'll be the guy to say it, man. Sometimes you don't need a cabinet with a bunch of games on it, right? So, say put Marvel vs. Capcom 2 out. If it came out in the big blue form factor, it came out with $5.99, I'm okay with that. Option 2, they put out Marvel vs. Capcom, but they put all the prior titles that are online on there as well. Build up that community some more. As with the Big Blue and Capcom Street Fighter Legacy that's coming out, the games that are on the Capcom Legacy are cross-compatible with Big Blue. So if you already have a Big Blue, you don't have to go get a Capcom Legacy. I'm getting one. I got Yoga Flame already coming, so whatever. Be on the lookout for that. But you don't need to go and buy another cabinet. And I think that would be great for people who are interested in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 to try to get in the ecosystem. Having extra games to be able to play in MVC1 and Marvel vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, having the ability to play those online and get into that deep fighting game community that exists, built on the backs of cats like Footy and, Welcome to Die and Webhead and, Kong and Storm Queen, the list goes, Doobie, Eddie Good, Just Rich, the list goes on and on and on, Morpheus, just a bunch of people, built off the backs of those individuals and just sitting there and having fun. Literally, I think that would be the best option. Option 2 is the best one. Put out Marvel vs. Capcom 2, put those games out on it as well. Easy fix. Do I know if it's going to be playable like that? I don't know, because, Marvel vs. Capcom and those games are CPS 2. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is Naomi. I don't know how well that will play together, but it would be great to see them all on the cabinet. Option 3 would just be to do Naomi games, right? So you would do Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Maybe we can get a Rival Schools or Project Justice. Maybe we can get, because I don't think they're ever going to make a cabinet for it separately, maybe they can do Capcom vs. SNK 2. Literally, if they only did Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Capcom vs. SNK 2, 2 games on the cabinet, I would be completely fine with that, right? Or you can do what I want, right? Do Marvel vs. Capcom 2, do CVS 2, do Project Justice or Rival Schools, and maybe Capcom vs. SNK 1 as well too. So CVS 1 and 2, Rival, Rival Schools or Project Justice, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and Power Stone. Yes, Power Stone. Y'all know that Dreamcast game that y'all love so much? Did you know that was an arcade game? Yeah, that game was in the arcades. It's a 3-button game, and so you could definitely put that on the Arcade1Up. And that would be a great game. It would be a nice surprise. People would be like, oh, this is dope. And think about it. With the initiative that Arcade1Up has been going with, all their cabinets have had some form of online. And if they can put Power Stone, it doesn't have to be Power Stone 2, Power Stone 1. If they put Power Stone on there, and you get Power Stone online, wow, that's a chef's kiss all day, no questions, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to worry about the monitor or anything else like that, you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to get to that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Some things you just know are just going to be bad, and this is kind of why I want a Pro model, because you want the premium stuff. You do Pro model, you do hat buttons, or IL sticks, you know what I mean, and buttons, and have a competition ready, because I guarantee you, this cabinet comes out, there are going to be tournaments up the wazoo. Like, that's real talk. You know what I mean? And people are going to have fun, and they're going to love it. Even the most casual person, maybe OTG will pick it up, and OTG hates Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And get rid of the riser, please. No risers. But hopefully we'll find out soon. The date, if I remember, leaked was like October or November. I don't have the leak list in front of me, but But if that NFL Blitz league is anything to go off of, it's coming in the future. And I can think of an event that would be perfect to maybe showcase it and talk about it at. But what do you guys think, man? Do you guys think I'm all base? Do you think I'm dreaming? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think this is something that shouldn't happen? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, and if you haven't seen the video, I made a video about this about 2 months ago where I kind of blamed Justin Wong, sorry Justin, for all this stuff. And everything that I've spoken about has kind of been true so far. If you haven't seen the video is right there. Also, last shameless plug of the video, if you enjoy fighting games and things of that nature, I do run a channel called Mo Plays, and we do a lot of fighting games and stuff over there. There's a Back Alley 7-Eleven Championship Series, and we do Smoke Sundays where we do all kinds of competitive gameplay. So make sure to sub that channel as well. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm Mike of All Trades, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later. It's Marvel, baby.